Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, are beginning a three-day visit to Nigeria as part of publicity around the Invictus Games. Now, it follows an announcement by Meghan that she's 43% Nigerian after she did a genealogy test. Well, earlier we were joined by our colleague Simi Jola Osho, who joined me from Abuja.
Well, this is the couple's first time in Nigeria. They are here because they were invited by the Ministry of Defense. So over the next 3 days, they will visit Lagos, Abuja and Kaduna. They're expected to go to a school where they will launch a mental health summit. They are expected to go to a military rehabilitation center and then also expected to meet members of Nigeria's Invictus Games team. Now, Nigeria became the first African country to participate in the Invictus Games last year, and they brought home a gold and bronze medal. The Invictus Games, of course, being the international sporting event co-founded by Prince Harry 10 years ago for wounded and sick service members and veterans. But on the other hand, this trip could be of a sort of personal significance for Meghan. The Duchess revealed 2 years ago on a podcast that after taking a genealogy test, that she found out that she was 43% Nigerian, something that Prince Harry also mentioned during his speech at the opening ceremony of the Invictus Games last year. So officials here in Nigeria are hoping this visit could lead to the country possibly hosting the Invictus Games in future years. And if that were to happen, well, this would be just the first of perhaps many more visits by the Duke and Duchess to the country.
And Simi, what's been the reaction in the media and in the country to this upcoming visit?
Well, there hasn't been the sort of royal fanfare that you would expect when royals visit a country. You've got to remember that this is a private visit, not a state visit. So the main purpose is to meet the local charities and NGOs that they're supporting. And remember that Prince Harry is marking the 10-year anniversary of the Invictus Games this year. Earlier this week, he was in London and attended a Thanksgiving ceremony there in St. Paul's Cathedral. So that's the main focus of this trip, not the sort of trip that you would expect from senior working members of the royal family.
Simi Jola Osho there. Well, I discussed the visit in a bit more detail with royal commentator Pandora Forsyth.
Indeed, it's not a royal visit since they stepped down as senior members of the royal family in terms of working capacity. But it does reflect similarities of a royal visit, of course. It has global attention, which is why we're speaking about it now. And they do have a pool photographer there and a pool reporter. And when it's royal tours, they would have exactly the same thing. So everything will be reported on, except this is, of course, an invitation from the Chief Defensive Staff there, a private invitation for both Harry and Meghan to not only promote the Invictus Games, but also do various other events whilst they're there. Meghan will be doing an event speaking about women in leadership too. So that I'm sure we'll be hearing absolutely everything about what's going on there, at the same time as the fact that Harry has just left the UK. And of course, Harry wasn't here with Meghan. So Meghan being there will, of course, just bring more of a global spotlight on the trip.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because, of course, that visit to London was much publicised, not least because he didn't have a meeting with his father, the King.
No, he didn't, but I'm sure the King will be well aware of where he's going to next. And I think here it just highlights as well the fact that Harry and Meghan have stepped down, but they're still getting lots of global spotlight on them, despite the fact that they're not part of the royal family. And for many people who do observe the royal family, perhaps they'll think this is a bit of a missed opportunity, as they had so much potential when they were working members of the royal family to bring a spotlight on issues which many people have been affected by around the world.
That's Pandora Forsyth there.